Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I am outside of beautiful Salt Lake City, and this is the first drive. This is what you've been waiting for of this vehicle right here. This is it. This is the all-new 2023 Cadillac Lyriq, and guess what? Being its big debut year, we have the debut edition. But before we get into this luxury EV, the first of any kind from Cadillac, let's talk about what's going on here. Cadillac. They know they got to make a change. And within the industry, especially when you're looking at those top luxury brands, there's one competitor in particular that has been very tough to go up against in the market with Cadillac, and that's going to be BMW. Both brands have such a rich history when it comes to luxury, it comes to style, and definitely technology. Now, each of them are going about it a little different way. BMW kind of has a little bit of a head start, especially when you look at their mini brand and the electrification that they brought to that small size corner carving, go-kart riding vehicle. But now what I want to do is BMW has taken a stance with their mighty BMW iX. But is it enough? Has Cadillac outsmarted the German brand to really bring a higher level of luxury, a higher level of uniqueness, and of course, with this being the first drive, a better driving experience with the Lyriq. So let's go ahead, let's dive into this satin steel. Love that color, one of my favorite colors in GM's palette, and find out, is the new Cadillac Lyriq the better luxury EV to buy over the BMW iX? Let's go ahead and find out. Right off the bat, what are the things that I think makes the Cadillac stand out more and it's better than the BMW is definitely the styling, especially at the front of the business. You're getting full LEDs. The way that they did it on the Lyriq is unique to this vehicle. And when you look at the BMW, yeah, the BMW iX has a lot of similarity with their other SUVs in their segment. But you know what? I like the way Cadillac took a stance and went all new, especially with the different finishes. Now, one of the things that definitely I am digging with this Cadillac Lyriq is the look of it. And I think it all comes down to the way they work the front fascia. Instead of being like BMW and having these fake grill looking things, they went with this nice design with the diagonal lines. All of this bottom design location is going to illuminate. Something that BMW, I think, missed out on is having that lighting experience, especially with this being an electrified vehicle. Of course, on that lower end, you have that nice extension, gives it a sporty feel, even though this is not meant to be a sport EV. Now, when you get up onto the hood, clean, simple lines, and you're going to find that on the BMW as well. Very clean, simple lines. But let's do a little bit of wheel comparison. Coming around the bend, what do we got on the debut edition? You're going big, bling, blinging big. We got 22-inch wheels. Love that hand-polished look. The way they put the inserts in really allows it to have that sense of style, but also generate airflow. But guess what? BMW with the iX, they went mono with the wheels. They also have a 22-inch wheel as well. It's obviously beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I'm kind of liking the style on this wheel from Cadillac, although I do like the BMW wheel as well, but Cadillac took it an extra step. They work with Michelin, developed special tires for the Lyriq, unlike BMW with their tire brand. A little bit of gloss black, but you know what? Super clean from the side and definitely a wider, more aerodynamic look than that very tall BMW. Now, coming down the side, simple and clean. And the reason why they did this is because on the driver's side is the actual charge port door. Now, if you want the more in-depth review of this vehicle, I'll leave the link at the end of this video so that you can see that charge port door in action. It's actually pretty cool. But nice the way they brought a body line to kind of mimic that with the Cadillac badge. You got your gloss black on the mirror caps. Now you can get this two-tone, which is kind of cool. We have all satin steel. And like I said, this is the way I would go because I love the satin steel finish. They did a great job on doing their flush mounted door handles with the ambient lighting. And I think one of my favorite parts is that you just tap it and the door pops right open. got a nice little tab up here so you can swing it open and close. But as you can see, they tied in all the elements, that aluminum style. Instead of shiny chrome, they brought in that aluminum style element, gloss black on the bottom. No roof rails, which I'm okay with that because it cleans up the look, and we got a full glass roof. Coming towards the rear, what makes this very special for Cadillac is we got all new suspension bits. We got frequency adjusting suspension. The iX doesn't have that. iX has adaptive suspension that you could change, but this changes all on its own. Coming to the rear, look at the way they did the taillights. All the style, and then just the balance of sport and luxury and sleekness. That's why I'm kind of slowly falling in love with this Lyriq, especially with that nice long roof spoiler. You got the kick up. The one thing that kind of I'm not in love with is the extra badging. This is 450, obviously E means this is electric. 450 is the amount of torque in Newton meters. I think this just confuses people. Just call it a Lyriq. We don't need anything else, but the way that they worked, the taillights in the lower section, a little bit more of that aluminum badging. And then another thing I like is this is actually the button to open up the hatch. Very, very cool to have it clean like that. And then working your way down, this is a rear-wheel drive setup, which is what we have. Eventually, they will bring an all-wheel drive to go up against the M60 iX. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk numbers between the BMW and the Cadillac. All right, guys, there it is. The hood is open. There's a lot of plastic underneath, and it's a bummer that even with this being a rear-wheel drive unit, there's no actual front-mounted trunk. But let's talk about the power of this Lyriq, especially comparing it to the BMW and that other big name, Tesla, with the Model X. So the rear-wheel drive single electric motor unit puts out 340 horsepower, 325 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in about 4.9 seconds. The battery is a 100 kilowatt per hour unit. On a single charge, you have 312 miles. And remember, this uses GM's own unique patented Ultium battery pack. It uses 12 modules, and what's great about it is that hackers cannot hack in to this vehicle. Comparing it to the BMW or the Model X, those vehicles do have more power and a little bit more range. The BMW actually has about 12 more miles per range over this vehicle. Tesla is about the same with the Model X. If you get the trailering package, you could tow up to 3,500 pounds. And I think the big news everybody wants to know, on a DC fast charger, you could do 76 miles worth of charging in 10 minutes. So that really brings up that charging capability. But you know what? Why don't we go ahead? I want to see what it looks like rolling down the road, because I'm telling you, this shape is something that Tesla with their marshmallows and BMW with their big nostril SUV can't compete with. So let's go ahead. Let's drive this down the road and see what it looks like. All right, guys, here we are inside. We're gonna make this one a little quicker because this is the first drive. If you want the more in-depth of this Lyriq, I'll leave the link of that video at the end of this one. Now, I know you're saying, well, Joe, I like BMW. I don't really like Tesla, but my friends have been kind of peer pressuring me. They beat me up every day telling me I gotta drive a Tesla, but I like this Lyriq. How much is it? MSRP for this debut edition is right around $62,000. Let's see how it stands out from the competition to the door panels. I love the style. That two-tone really pops nicely. You got your ambient lighting. I think it was so smart the way they moved the seat controls, just like Mercedes-Benz has it up top. You got your ventilated seats, heated seats, and massage seats. A little bit of gloss black, but the big standout is gonna be that AKG premium sound system. It's 19 speakers, aluminum speaker grille cover, really nice size. And then that door pocket also is a nice size. You come out to Utah where we're at, find yourself a nice Velociraptor egg that's been fossilized. You could actually put it right in that holder and have a victory bottle of Yoo-Hoo to wash everything down. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, very clean, sleek, modern style. The BMW still looks like a BMW, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing depending who you are. Here, smooth touch material. I like the way it's not like the Tesla with minimalistic touches. You got real ornamented type of design with the aluminum finish. We got 28 inches of screen. It's split between the infotainment and the digital gauge cluster. Let me show you a couple of the features that stands out from the rest. You got all your different drive modes, Gran Turismo graphics, and then you could turn on and off the one pedal driving operation, which is regen, with a touch of a single button. You go into your settings, you could do high, on, or just shut it off all completely. We also have charging. It'll let you know when you're 100% charged. It's got that range, 312 miles. And then of course, another fancy little standout is right here, ambient lighting. Just like a good old box of Crayola crayons, that 64 pack that your best friend in school had with the sharpener, and you kind of were so jealous of them, you actually can just spin. This is for the upper ambient lighting. This is for the footwell and all the lower. So you could do crazy color combinations, maybe like a light purple and a mint green, and you're good to go. Sleek on the AC controls, nice knobs, never used before in a Cadillac. And then of course you're gonna have storage. Easily put, I would say 57 baseball cards there. Get your tops, all your favorite players, 2 cup holders, this nice floating center console. You got the ability to put your Tom Brady football down here, or maybe a fossilized dinosaur bone, maybe like a femur or something like that. You can keep that in here. And what's cool is when you put your hand down here, it actually changes the ambient lighting at night to be nice and bright and white. You got your direct drive control knob, so you don't have to touch the screen. Wireless charging, and then easily you got enough room in there to put, I would say, 12 Kit Kat bars in there. That way, when you're out with your friends on these trails and walking around, you got plenty to share. And what you got to share with your passenger is that soft leather, the speakers, the massage seats. Very well done, extra large, because all the controls have been moved to the door panel instead of on the side of the seat. And of course, we have that massive piece of glass. Nice one-touch operation and a digital rearview mirror. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind this Super Cruise steering wheel in our Lyriq. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel of the new Lyriq. Of course, you're going to find some Easter eggs on this Cadillac, patching the past with the present. Nice to see those little touches. And then, obviously, the seats being extra wide, great position. I got plenty of room in here. Steering wheel, I thought BMW did the perfect thickness on a steering wheel. I like what they brought to the Lyriq, especially with it being all new. The one major zonk though, no stitching on the horn button. That would have went really far with this setup, but you got your single paddle for that pressure sensitive regen braking, which none of the others have. You actually use this as you would a brake pedal. We got our Super Cruise, which is that semi-autonomous driving. And then the great news is they bring the screen and the usability all the way to the edge. So it's not like 28 inches of screen and then half of it doesn't work. In the center, what do we got? We got that nice large information display. Right now I'm in Tour and snow and ice. That's what is gonna be displayed. I show sport, look at how it changes, and then there's even an energy level which shows everything else. I think the biggest mishap of a zonk is gonna be no head-up display, but you do have an electric tilting and telescoping steering wheel. But we talked about how good it is up front. Let's get to the back seat and see how you're gonna electrify your passengers' lives sitting in the rear of this Lyriq. All right, guys, back seat time. And when you're comparing this to the BMW and the Model X, it's gonna be close on that rear passenger seat volume, especially because they're all electric vehicles. So that means we have the flat floor like you're gonna find in those competitors. Pockets though, the good news is you could easily put 2 Utah tacos back here. And if you're wondering what the heck is that, that's basically a rattlesnake taco. Put 2 of those back here. Command center is where you're gonna get the biggest zonk and where I think it lacks to the competition. You're just getting 2 small AC vents. This little tray here, which I guess you could put some Tootsie Rolls. And then you do have a home power source and 2 USB-Cs, which are nice, but I would have liked to have seen the ability to adjust the air. I got plenty of room back here, which feels great, very stylish, and you got the AKG speaker system pumping back here. Nice high armrest with the 2 cup holders, but let's go ahead, let's jump in that cargo area real quickly because I'm dying to go on throttle in our first drive of the Lyriq. All right guys, cargo time real quick. If you want to see them more in depth, I'll have that link at the end. You hit that Cadillac badge. What you're greeted to is 28 cubic feet of space with the seats up. You fold the seats down, you almost have 61 cubic feet of space. And what's awesome is that's plenty of room, especially with the rear motor back there. But speaking of motors, speaking of electrons, ions, neutrons, and everything else, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle in our first ever electrified Cadillac. All right guys, we're inside this 2023 Cadillac Lyriq, the debut edition. We are cruising down the highway here in Salt Lake City. Beautiful scenery and definitely a beautiful environment behind the wheel of this Lyriq. It's interesting that Cadillac was brave enough to take the route to just change up everything on the inside. There's nothing shared with any other Cadillac in their lineup. One thing you're gonna notice is I'm gonna be quiet for a second here as we go through this right-hand bend. Very quiet. It's unbelievable how they were able to cancel all of the vibration and sound, and it just provides a true oasis. Now behind the wheel, what's great is you got your different driving modes, so you could adjust how much stiffness you want in the steering. I have everything in sport. That's how I like to roll here on Raiti's Ride, so that when we go on throttle, like we're about to, on throttle, here we go, it really feels very, very engaging. Now, quick with the rear wheel drive, it's gonna be a little bit more bonkers with the all-wheel drive unit, and the all-wheel drive unit is going to be coming a little bit after this particular debut edition goes and debuts. So nice to see them kind of having the best of both worlds, and you can really get it exactly the way you want it. But rear wheel drive in this mid-size crossover SUV feels good. I love the layout of the dash. Everything is easy to get to. And what's great is that there's not a lot of glare, at least on the dash. I am noticing some glare from the gloss black on the floating center console area, but other than that, everything has such a nice look, feel, and touch. But let's go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. It's that instant torque. And what's great is that with the wide track of this vehicle and just how wide it is and those meaty tires, 275s, all 4 corners, it allows you to just grip very, very nicely. Not a lot of body roll, actually very minimal on the body roll. And that's that amazing frequency adapting suspension. So you don't have to worry about what mode you're in. It's gonna go ahead and make those adjustments every nanosecond. This is not magnetic ride. So just let it be known, this is not a magnetic ride suspension. This is totally new technology on this Cadillac compared to other GM products. And then of course that 5-link independent suspension up front and the 5-link out back. I mean, I'm able down this highway to kind of, if there was something that darted out, you're gonna feel confident and just really inspired by the amount of feedback you're getting and how quick and good this Lyriq turns. But the seats are comfortable. Like I pointed out before, the way that they engineered the interior, this is the widest seat available on any Cadillac, including the Escalade, and your body thanks you for that. It just allows you to feel supportive, but also comfortable at the same time. and you don't feel like you're sitting on a waterbed, like you're not sunken in the seat. You really feel like you're in the seat, secure. Visibility out the back, it's a little tight with that sexy sloping rear glass, but the great news is you turn on the digital rearview mirror and you're good to go. All right, guys, on throttle from a dead stop. On throttle, here we go. You can hear that motor sound that we have on. But with the instant torque, it does have that instant get up and go. And I kind of like the fact that with the sports sound on, it's not too intrusive. All right, guys, let's do another on throttle. On throttle, there we go. It just puts a smile on your face and then you're wrapped in this tuxedo, which is great. But going into this left-hand bend, let's see how she handles. Very composed. And I think you're really gonna like the way that they made each of the modes quite different, especially when it comes to steering feel. And the fact that with the regen braking, I have that pressure sensitive paddle on the back of the wheel where I can adjust. Right now I'm slowing down. I don't even have my feet on any pedal. I'm using the paddle on the back of the steering wheel to slowly, look at this, slowly come to a stop. Nobody else has that, including Tesla and definitely the BMW iX. And I really feel that this, from a handling standpoint, because of the width, is gonna out-handle that BMW. But on throttle, here we go. There's that sound. A little bit of a Tron cycle type thing. Hey guys, I'm giving you a little bit of a POV, that point of view, so you could be me behind the wheel and going on throttle. Let me go ahead and slow down. I'm gonna show you again. It's crazy that that pressure mounted paddle for the regen braking, you just come to a complete stop, no feet. I have no feet on the brake pedal, and here we are. Now we're gonna go on throttle. So if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. So that's gonna be in your normal mode, and then I'm gonna show you how we go into sport mode. It's real simple. We're gonna go into the infotainment. We slide over to drive modes. Now we're gonna be in sport. Changes the instrumentation. It's gonna change the weight of the steering and everything else. And then to get back to home, you're right back where you started. So really love how easy it is to navigate through that system. But let me come to another stop. I'm gonna use just the brake pedal. You can see how it's showing me my regen braking, actually showing the kilowatts in regen braking. Are you ready? On throttle. Definitely a difference between sport and normal. All right, one of the cool features I like about this Lyriq, especially comparing it to the Tesla Model X or the BMW iX, is turning on the one pedal operation. It's actually very, very simple. What you're gonna do is I'm in sport mode, I'm gonna hit this icon and automatically it turns on that one pedal enabled driving regen. And then you could go into settings and actually put it on or high. All right, guys, the great news about driving this mid-size crossover SUV is that even on tighter country roads like what we're on right now, it's very, very easy to operate and feel secure, know where your overhang is at the front and the back, and then you can see just how balanced the chassis is. I mean, that 50-50 weight distribution and then having that one pedal operation, once you get used to it, it really feels incredible. But super smooth, and the fact that this is not the full performance version of the Lyriq is great news, because I think the 500 horsepower twin motor example obviously will be even more fun. But definitely the weight of the steering, the feedback that you're getting, you're able to read what the ribbon of asphalt is doing and trying to communicate to you. And then the seats are super comfy, not a lot of lateral support, but like I said, once again, this is not meant to be this corner carving performance EV. That is yet to come from Cadillac. But for right now, this is a nice, even balance of the luxury, but yet with some spirited driving behind the Lyriq. Really love the instrumentation. Like I said, the one thing that I think the other two brands have, Tesla and BMW, is that head-up display. But this really feels good going through these tight turns. And having those A-pillars pulled far apart really allow you to have that great visibility, which makes you able to drive and feel confident even in this tight, twisty, mountainous road that we're on here in the middle of nowhere, Utah. Wow, look at that. All the way around. On throttle, here we go. Super, super smooth. And that instant torque is just phenomenal. And then, like I said, if you want to be in sport mode but you don't like this screen, you easily can go over and adjust what you're reading on the digital layout here. And it's just so easy. You're just gonna go right to that gauge and you can switch it up super easily on the fly while you're driving. But you can see I'm not white knuckling the steering wheel. Nice, easy grip. And just the feedback and control is super wonderful. They definitely did their homework with the engineering of this platform. And the thing that I love is just having that low center of gravity. Really, really nice. Look at this. All right, guys, one more on throttle for good measure. Let's make sure we're in sport mode. So you're just gonna hit right there, wha-bam. Dead stop. On throttle, here we go. Nice. And then with that one pedal, I mean, really great. The way that they developed the tech with that one pedal regen braking. Nice seamless flow. But I'm hoping that this gave you a wonderful overview of what the Lyriq is all about with this first drive. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up from Salt Lake City, Utah. So I will see you in 1 millisecond. Guys, it's been one heck of a first drive experience. I definitely gotta thank the whole Cadillac team for inviting us to get behind the wheel of the Lyriq. That means you also get to be behind the wheel of the Lyriq. But let me know what you think. Is the Cadillac Lyriq that home run luxury EV crossover that's meant to be the best, better than BMW and better than Tesla with that Model X? Put your choice in that comment section. But until we meet another day in another beautiful area of the world, if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button and plug in and watch Raiti's Rides each and every day. It'll be worth your while. If you are a subscriber, you know how we roll. On throttle every day, all the time. Thank you for your support and love. Speaking about love, I know everybody loves Lori's great camera work. Show her some shout outs in that comment section. Thank you, Lori, for being the best in the biz and the best at what you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.